Hello, gentle viewer. It is I, Grant the Goose. Today is a day like any day. I awake from my slumber in my favorite bush and waddle my way towards fresh water. But, oh, what is this I see? A picnic blanket with no picnickers! A sandwich left on a bench. Well, nothing to do but kick it with some fresh goose tunes this fine morning. But alas, it is him! He is here to take my tunes! Yes, Mr. Workaday Jones. I watch him, you know. I watch him slave away in that caged patch of turf, tending to vegetables that belong, like me, in the wild. Does he not too belong with me in the wild? Mayhaps I shall liberate him to the truth of this world. Were I to take his tools and break him of his worldly possessions, perhaps he may come join me and honk in the lake amongst the frogs and my goose poop. Yes, kind viewer, I believe it is time, isn't it? Time to show the world that I haven't been honking at thin air. Nay, nay, most gentle, humble viewer. I honketh towards the sky in hopes of liberation for man. My bipedal brethren devoid of feathers, who defecateth in chambers cold and alone, rather than in this beautiful lake where it floats away and is naturally disinfected by the filter feeders and lake grass. Yes, humble groundskeeper, come poop in my lake. Goose of Untitled Goose Game, the avian philosopher who has taken our cold shrivel hearts into zay own. Few are bold enough to tread the path that developer House of Melbourne, Australia was artistically capable of walking so gorgeously. As a child, I used to bring friends, family, and food to picnics at our local reservoir where geese ran amok, spewing feces and honking away. There was one who was particularly aggressive that was missing an eye, an injury he likely sustained from a confrontation of his own volition. This is the species we're dealing with, people. Geese. Goose! Yet House would have you believe the wounded warrior from my childhood wasn't all so bad. Perhaps it was a message all along. Do you dare to look deeper? Life near a pond seemingly ruined by a goose is a corner of human experience that has simply never been articulated. But as we age as a species, we learn more and more that animal intelligence is real. Even cows remember beef with other cows. Woo! Pun intended, so prepare yourself to join me in purging avian anals to bring forth a story which inspired high art tweeted to the developers themselves. This is the story of one creature who dared to cry heresy in a world where slender necks are vulnerable to attack by the road most trodden. This is the story of a hollow-boned hero who has finally had enough. This is the story of Goose, the story you never knew. Whoa, come on! Grant the Goose. Zay seems to simply terrorize a peaceful village with goose-like mischief. Goose steals glasses, throws the rake in the lake, and infiltrates pubs with covert operative skills. The world is Goose's egg. Days upon days went by, and I thought of nothing but this bird and Zay quest. Why couldn't I let it go? What was it that held my focus for so long? But suddenly, I realized this web-footed fowl was expressing a way of being, unlike anything understood by those who view Goose as a nuisance. The gardener, the shopkeeper, the kid with glasses. None of them could accept that genius was pecking at their shoelaces. It was pure epiphany. These people live in a world of rules just like us. From the moment we're born till the day we die, we are constrained. Don't be a pain, grow up and go to school. Don't poop in the lake, don't do drugs. Don't have erotic fantasies involving live or dead animals.
Come on, squeal, squeal.
Get a job, find a spouse. Teach your kid not to poop in the lake. We've been given the blueprints to our lives since before the day we could even understand what it truly meant to be. Yet, if you don't follow those blueprints, then you're an outsider. You're different. An ugly duckling. Goose isn't going to stand for that. Goose won't stay near the pond and be a good goose. My anecdote about the one-eyed demon swan from earlier would suggest this was an impractical expectation to begin with. For in every gander, it seems a warrior is born. To suggest goose should stay far away and not be annoying, poopying upon thine window only when it's convenient so as to stay out of sight and out of mind, runs counter to the profound message embedded within Untitled Goose Game. Fight the status quo. Liberate the masses. We need change. We need the idea behind this foul. We need an outlet for anger, a way to express what we're not allowed to. Goose is that outlet. Goose isn't going to let these people run through their everyday lives with no variance as though they're all set on train tracks. No! They will help them. And they will start with the gardener. As you can see, we must liberate this gardening gentleman from his daily routine. Only I, the wise goose of legend, know the way. The rake is clearly the cause of your woes, kind sir. Let me simply dispose of this for you in the lake so you may be free of your shackles. Wait! What are you doing? I'm trying to help you. We must try again. What you may have seen is Goose attempting to upset a man at work, but you were wrong! Open your eyes! This was, in reality, an offering of love and peace. Goose sets up a picnic for the gardener, hides his tools of work. Zay makes the gardener don a better hat to protect from the sun's cancer-causing death beams. Goose is trying to give this gardener a message. Relax! There's going to be work every single day for the rest of your life. Enjoy the beautiful moments. Take the time to smell the roses. Listen to the sick beats. Save a moment for yourself. Live. But what does the gardener do? He posts an anti-goose sign into the ground and forces us on our merry way! Gardener is so lost in societal boundaries that he thinks Goose's brain is even capable of the symbolic comprehension required to read that sign. Does he not see what we've done for him? The lengths we've gone to show our support for what this blue-collar man truly needs? No. Gardener only sees a white-feathered fowl fouling up his flowers, not what could be. We travel onwards to the next section, a child and a woman running a small outdoor garage sale. Can we help these poor souls find salvation? We can only try. Again, we upset the status quo. The child is terrified of us, so much so that he calls the local TV station for help, and suddenly we're on TV. But this child doesn't understand what our message is. We're trying to show him that even a little push against the grain can cause huge ripples. In one action, we went from just Goose to being broadcast across the airwaves which permeate society. We told a story, something for people to notice. Yet the child doesn't understand our plight to give him a better life. He's too scared. Scared of the road less traveled. We try to get him to understand the unintended consequences of capitalism by giving his toy to garage sale lady who then makes him buy his own toy back. We then show him there's more than one lens through which to see the world by making him put on the wrong glasses. But all he can see is a goose that terrifies him, not the Buddha of his time. Garage sale lady is in the same boat. We try to show her there's so much more to life than money. Don't you see your hairbrush and carrots and tomatoes own you? Your attachments and desire for wealth bring you toil and despair. Goose will take them away. Capitalism is only one way to run society. What has it done for Goose? Goose is just chillin' to some sick beats. Often people get lost in the rat race. Buy, sell, clock in, and clock out. Why not simply float in a lake or have a picnic? Use your limited free time to the fullest, not just to play our unbalanced game of wealth where 3 men have the same amount of money as the bottom 50% of Americans combined. Goose is trying to show that Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett shouldn't own the same amount as 160 million people combined. No. They should instead throw it in the lake. Goose knows capitalism isn't the complete problem. Done correctly with the right balance between a controlled and free market, a society can thrive. So Goose fights for the children of the future. Goose fights for us. Onward Goose goes, and I go with Zay, to spread the message of change to two neighbors. What may seem like two people who are enjoying leisurely activities is, in reality, a plea for help. And Goose answers the call. Look at this gentleman reading the newspaper in his backyard. Tea on the table beside his hat, slippers on his feet. Despicable! Can't you see what Goose sees? A societal drone in pain? This man reads the paper with such fervor and terror he is constantly watching around himself in paranoia. This is what the news of our time does. It creates anxiety. Look at his face. He does not heed the honking. I've never seen a more true form of fear. So take his newspaper we shall, but that's not enough. You can't just be ignorant to the world either, so we take his slippers. Get out there. Get your feet dirty. Join the revolution towards which we waddle. The revolution of change! But no. Despite this man's paranoia, he won't go against the grain. He's been brought up by the machine, and the machine owns him. Look at how angrily he throws his neighbor's belongings off his property. Is that the work of a happy man? No, it is a cry for help. Yet, when help comes, the man won't take it. The woman is no better. We try to break down the walls of her life, yet she continually puts them back up. We show her new ways to think creatively, and while she's somewhat accepting of these ideas, she cannot let go of her materialistic ways. Neither can the man. Goose tries to help, but it is only in vain. Despite getting the man to break the woman's vase and getting the woman to clip the man's prized roses, they don't understand that these simple ideas of property and ownership are tearing them apart. And so the anti-Goose signs rise, and Goose moves on, unaccepted and unappreciated, like every true artist in their time. Goose then traverses through a household and across the streets to a pub. Here we see some of the worst society has wrought upon this town. A bouncer, unable to bend the rules for anyone, even the feathered messiah this pub desperately needs. A waitress so intent on her work that any distraction is an upset. A man so focused on escapism he'd rather play games alone than spend time with others or wake up to the world he lives in. This bar is a symbol of decay, and yet there is hope. A couple that understands Goose's plight and offers their support. Not all is lost. Not everyone turns a blind eye. And with that newfound support, Goose helps the old man see the errors of his ways, makes him get off his brainwashed buttocks and do something besides isolate himself with games. You're welcome, old chap. Upon emancipating this man from his limiting thought patterns, Goose finds less easily freed captives. The burly man will not challenge his reality, and so we do the only thing we can. Continually hit him in the head to try to shake him out of his programmed daze. Goose knows there's a kind soul within, someone who's unhappy but longs to follow their dreams inside that caged mind. So again and again, Goose makes him fall flat on his face, hits him over the head with a bucket, and does everything in Zay power to wake this man up. But the man is too far gone. We cannot fix what people are unwilling to work on. And so Goose turns to the waitress, breaking things and stealing glasses, all in an attempt to get the woman to understand. There's more to life than this job. You don't work to eat and eat to work. That's not the cycle of life. Yet she's but another zombie whose only thought is to keep glasses at the ready for customers. A poor soul lost in monotony, with her hands over her ears to block out our truthful call. So Goose runs a gauntlet through all these people, bringing a honking bell across each of their paths. A bell to shake them, to wake them, but they will not listen. And when we finally get to the end, we see just how many times Goose has attempted this task. So many bells wasted on those who will not listen. Yet, Goose keeps trying. We must. Do you not see? Goose is the Sisyphus of the modern age. The one of Greek legend who is so unaffected by the diseased thoughts of futility that he pushes a boulder up a slope every day only to have it fall back down. I know you've heard the legend. He is a symbolic representation of what is required to continually try over and over again to wake those who do not want to be woken, to bring the light to those in the dark. If we do not change, are we not already in a purgatory of our own creation? What could be construed as a game with no plot and only a goose being a goose is, in reality, truth, a call for societal reformation, to learn what is important, to put the rake in the lake. Yet much like the Greek legend, the rock rolls back downhill. And so Goose must try again and again. Will Zay ever succeed in waking those around Zay to understand the weight of their choices? Will they ever learn that there's a better way to live? We may never know. Yet Goose will continue Zay pilgrimage to and from the next bell. We can only hope it's not in vain. Goose is the hero we need, an unstoppable force of nature, unable to give up on humanity even when humanity has given up on itself. Goose is more than this village could ever deserve, and yet they won't listen, not even when Goose gets wet. At least, not yet. For when the post-game is completed, our once lowly quacker of wisdom dons a head garment most regal, a crown. The fruits of the revolution have blossomed from the soil of unyielding bravery. This village, once held down by agriculture and an unrestrained free market, now has at its zenith a leader who squawks fulfillment and floats with grace. That's the truth of our alabaster fowl and Zay quest towards meaning that spills abundantly out of the moment. That's the story of a bird that saw through the societal lies, of a winged angel from the heavens who hid Zay grace behind the shallow shroud of annoyance. That's the story of Goose, the story ye never knew. And that's my take on Untitled Goose Game. I think that was pretty on point. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree. For now, I would like to thank Lay Redson. Lay Redson is one of the reasons that I'm able to be the goose that I am today. Thank you, Lay, for supporting us on Patreon. Your support means a lot, and thank you. And no matter who you are, the fact you made it this far into the video, it means a lot. I hope you enjoyed my goosey poetry. I'm Grant, and you have a lovely day, beautiful viewer. Bye.